have another person who went to ViVE and appropriately named Enable Health. Mark Stevens is a managing partner there and has some additional perspectives on what some of the key learnings were from ViVE this year in Nashville. Mark, thank you for joining us today.
Great. Thank you, Stan, for having me.
No, appreciate it. And if you can, tell everyone a little bit about what you picked up at ViVE and some of the key learnings and some of the key attributes that you found when you were walking around the conference this year.
Yeah, and if you will, just a little by way of background and why I was at ViVE this year. At Enable Health, we help health systems and startups innovate and be successful in the marketplace, often by bringing the two together. And as a result, we've been very active sort of in the thought leadership space. We've worked with a lot of conferences over the years, providing content and speakers. And of course, with us, health and ViVE are no exception. Last year, we reached out to Rich Scarfo, who runs health, founded by Jonathan Weiner. And Jonathan did a wonderful job in recruiting Rich away from HIMSS. And Rich is just the maestro of healthcare events. You know, I said he's the Ken Burns of storytelling in healthcare. And he and his team, again, did a brilliant job. Health actually formed ViVE just last year. This was just the second conference of its kind, specifically to partner with CHIME, the Hospital CIO Association, and to, I guess, a lesser degree with the AMA and others. And really, they're focused on digital health transformation and the business of healthcare. So I think that's important to understand. It's a different conference than health. Both have grown significantly. It's doubled in size. Both have since they've started. Again, this is just ViVE's second round, and there were about 7,500 people there in total. We are formerly a premier programming partner. So my perspective is as someone who's contributed to a sponsor, not only sponsoring, but producing different parts of the conference. Our focus was on innovation, particularly in the orthopedic, or we'll call broadly the health sports tech space. We featured a Shark Tank, but we also, for a for-profit company, we're mission driven. And there was a lot of room for us at ViVE this year because it was the place and time that they chose to announce the creation of the Health Foundation. And that's obviously a nonprofit organization advancing various goals within healthcare. The main platform of the Health Foundation was featured in programming throughout ViVE, and that was their coined word, Tequity. So how can we leverage technology to help achieve goals around achieving health equity? And I was fortunate to put together and moderate a panel on moving beyond the moral imperative of reacting to SDOH challenges and health equity challenges, and look at the economic imperative. See how can your organization and society and healthcare be economically successful as well as morally successful in meeting these challenges of our day.
That's great. Now, really impressive background. I mean, Rich and his team have just done a great job in bringing ViVE up to the level it's at right now, and especially during a pandemic, which was so difficult to do. And you know, we look at the work that they've done in helping highlight emerging technologies and really giving them a stage and a place to not just be able to highlight what they're doing and for folks that want to adopt new technologies, but also connect with investors. I mean, one of the nice things about ViVE and Health is that it's a great consortium for folks to join who are startups and who are investors. And then a lot of the buyers that are out there. You know, if you're a buyer and you're trying to find something that's going to help your health plan, or it's going to help your life science company or your public health agency, a lot of these emerging technologies, that's where their new home is going to ViVE and going to HLTH and Health and being able to meet people there and connect. And love the new assembly as well, just the architecture of the floor, super interactive.
Absolutely.
Just incredible stages and wonderful flow of different opportunity for attendees to meet each other. And just, you know, like the design and very, very avant-garde and progressive. So really nice job that Rich and his team has done there with ViVE. Yeah. And again, it's another organization just for the folks who are in the New York City ecosystem that's based out of New York City. And if you are in New York City, stop by and say hi to them for sure. And what were some of the learnings that you picked up, Mark, from ViVE in Nashville last month? And what did you see there that really impressed you?
Yeah, I think, well, you know, I'll certainly echo Peter was spot on with all of his observations. And, you know, I'll go back again, being a programming partner. I'll echo what you said, Stan. They do just such a beautiful job presenting. one of the words that came up from the vendors and even the speakers that I spoke to was democratization of a conference. And so to your point, you know, with obviously the content, the speakers and the caliber thereof are extremely important, but it is the networking opportunities. And that's not lost on Rich and his team. And a special shout out to Mary Sheridan, who's director of programs there. She's in partnerships. She's been a wonderful partner to ours, but one of the reasons why the event is successful. And, you know, democratization means there aren't enormous booths. You're not overwhelmed. They structure it so that it's easy to go from one booth to another. So you can see a number of startups in a relatively small space, but they do curated networking too. So as you put, buyers are there, investors are there, startups are there. They do a really good job bringing all those folks together because what they ultimately want to do, and it's why Jonathan Weiner founded these events, is to move the industry forward. So they know these connections are key so that we can walk away from this event and know we've moved the needle. It wasn't just a bunch of talking heads. And also, you know, just little things, but they aren't really that little. When you're on the floor, you have access to food and the food's included with your price, but it's there, you can eat. And actually the food was really good. And people appreciated there were drink stations that were available that didn't run out of drinks. And it's those little details that make for a great conference and a great experience. They also do a great job in curating sort of off-hour events. And so there's always great entertainment. I think when people go there, it's not inexpensive to attend, but you know you're gonna get your money's worth. You know, and as far as the programming note, you know, it shouldn't be lost on folks that it was the same time of the Covenant School shooting in Nashville. I know my phone lit up because people were concerned that we were in harm's way. I can tell you we weren't. I can tell you that the hospitality and just the wonderful nature of Nashville and its people were on full display. But you know, Rich Scarfo made a point in his opening remarks of saying how important it is to be kind to each other and to reach out. And they did a beautiful job in real time messaging electronically to folks at the conference about the tragedy. And we had several moments of where we could you know, exercise support by having a moment of silence. So they just did that. There was no script for that, but it showed how professional they are, how well it was handled, and I know appreciated by both Nashville and all the attendees.
No, that's fantastic. Well, thank you, Mark, very much for joining us today. I really appreciate your insights and your highlights of what took place at ViVE and certainly what you saw happening there. Thank you very much.
Great, thanks for having me.